I feel like I'm on like a first date. Like I'm actually kind of nervous. Like I'm hanging out with AQ Shipley, Pat McAfee show. I got notes. Hold on, let me get the notes up. 7th round pick, 3 young kids, 8-year vet, started his career at 26, a little bit older. Also now radio analyst for the Arizona Cardinals. Pat McAfee in the trenches segment, one of the best shows. What show inspires me to start making YouTube content. And fun fact, he was a good basketball player at 6'1". I'm 6'3" and I can't play ball. So it's about to pull up. This is either going to be awesome content, or this is going to be a complete flop and AQ is going to laugh me out of the building. Oh, there he is.
What's up, brother?
Bro, nice to officially meet you.
Good to meet you, man.
Big fan.
I'm built like a steak, so this is the perfect place for me. Have you ever seen the movie or the show on Netflix, Chef's Table?
Mm-mm.
It's really cool, and I was never, like, I didn't grow up this way. I was never into it, but it's like top 50 restaurants in the world, like type stuff.
Cool.
It's like Michelin stars. It's all over the world. And I fell in love with this show. Like, it kind of started coming out right around COVID. That show came out, and I started like really getting into all these episodes. Like my wife and I, like once or twice a year, try and like do a destination to like a Michelin star type place, do the whole experience. But like when you go to those places, you have to eat everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
100%.
I mean, there's stuff that didn't even know you could eat, and they're serving it to you. So like you start to learn. It's like, okay, cool. If you just try things.
So I'll have to introduce you to Thor, who comes out. He can explain it better. But they're opening another restaurant inside here.
Okay.
And it's going to be. Have you been to Monarch?
Love Monarch.
It's going to be similar to Monarch's, like 14 style, but it's like 14 different types of meat only.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, guys, just tell me when. Like I want to come back like 45 times, because like I'm the same way. Like when you go to these places, you have to try more than one thing. You can't just have one little steak.
I mean, you go to these badass steakhouse, or you go to these badass restaurants, and it's like, can I get a fillet? Make sure it's well done. And I'm like, get me out of here.
You know, that's actually when I first started this. I was a well done guy.
Were you?
I was a dead guy.
How'd you get into this? Like, how did this?
So since we have a long time to talk, I'll tell you. So I'm a big God guy, and I served at church for like 8 years.
Okay.
And for 2 years, I just had this thing on my heart to go do something in sports. Go do something in sports. And then 2 years later, everything at church fell apart. So I was like, okay, I have time now.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start social media. It took me about 6 months to even figure out how to make a video, how to do anything.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to 150 Arizona sporting events in 1 year and just make a name for myself, just to start. And about 6 months into it, I was like, I'm meeting AQ Shipley, Jacoby Brissett, Rex Chapman, all these guys. I'm like, I can just ask them something. What can I ask them? I don't want to be the photo guy. I'm just going to ask them where they like to eat. And I had 5,000 followers, and that video with Rex did like 60K. I was like, I might have found something here.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I know where Tom Chambers is. So I asked Chambers, $500,000. I was like, I found something here. And then I just fell in love with it, because I was like, I'm going out to places that I want to eat at anyways.
Yeah.
And now it's become a whole bit. Like even when I interviewed you, you were like, yeah, I know you are.
Yeah, so when I first came out here, I was big on Food Network, loved kind of watching Beat Bobby Flay and all that stuff. And so then I was like, okay, well, who's like the best chef in Phoenix, right? That's been Food Network stuff. So then I start kind of Googling, and Bo McMillan, who's become a dear friend of mine, is that first year I come out here, I come home from practice on my birthday, and my wife set up Bo at my house for me to cook with him. So Bo's in my kitchen when I come home from an OTA practice.
Was this 2015?
2015. So I come out of practice, get in the car, I go home, I walk in, and Bo's sitting in my kitchen with lobsters and pasta and all this stuff. And so we end up cooking together, and then we become really good friends. And every year they do this thing at the Super Bowl called Taste of the NFL, where it's a chef from every NFL city and a player from every NFL city. Well, him and I were paired up together for 7 years when I was playing. And so I've gotten super tight. And then because of that, I've gotten to know Andrew Zimmern and a lot of these like celebrity chefs on Food Network and all this stuff, and Robert Irvine. And so from that, I've always kind of been into food. And so my point being is, like, then I come out here and I start figuring out who the bloggers are, and then it's like this person and that person, and then I come across you and I'm like, And then I'm walking out that first game, I see you, I'm like, yeah, I know who you are. I love what you're doing. Which I'm sure you get a lot now, right?
I do. And what's like, even like yesterday, Buddha Baker followed me, and I'm just like, that's so cool. Because like I said, I started this in January. We're not even 1 year into what's your favorite restaurant, which I know I have yours already. We'll get into that later. Yep. But for me, my biggest inspiration is Pat McAfee. Okay. When he retired from the Colts, I was like, this guy's going into content. This is so cool to see someone like take that risk. Yep. And he does media so differently. He doesn't sit there and bash guys. He doesn't, not trying to throw shade at Arizona media, but like, I just couldn't stand the toxicity of like, these guys are just like, even like right now, everyone's like, Gannon needs to be fired. I'm like, maybe he does, whatever. But like, Gannon's a great guy. Same thing with Drew. Like, you guys are bashing Drew, but like, I've talked to Drew. He's a phenomenal human. I'm like, I want to do something in sports where I can build relationships, not burn bridges. So that's why I was like, I'm just going to go into food.
So good.
We have a crab Louis salad coming next, okay?
Love that.
With Chipotle dressing and Dungeness crab on there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was his whole thing. Like, that's why, like, if you ever pay attention, like the stuff I do on a show, it's like, it's always the top 5 O-line. Like, I could very easily do a segment of the bottom 5 O-line, and that shit would go. It would go.
It would go viral.
Because people like to see it. Yeah. But like the whole thing is like every O-lineman in the league follows me. Every O-lineman likes that. They look forward to see where their group's ranked. They look forward to see when they're getting highlighted. And like, the last thing I want is to, like, I know how hard it is to play in this league and to play offensive line. And so, and I also know, God, I love my man Dan Orlovsky, and like that's part of the reason why I got my job with McAfee doing this thing. But like, I remember like early in his career with ESPN, he was like, he'd always blame every sack on the offensive line. It's like, no. It ain't always like, I know that's that's the easy thing to do.
For sure.
But maybe the running back went the wrong way. Maybe the running back missed the linebacker. Maybe the quarterback just held onto the ball too long, right? Like, there's so many different factors. And so my point being is like, I know how hard it is, so I never want to throw anyone under the bus. Like, hell yeah.
Cool. Cheers, brother. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, man. Glad we got to do this.
Cheers. You guys be my next follower. Drop a follow. But also, congratulations. You're doing radio now this year. You took over Wolfley's job, which is awesome.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Like, I didn't know how much I was going to like it, and I love it. Like, I did it. Like, I'm not kidding you. I did it because I was like, oh, let's give it a try. And, like, I think at some point I want to get into, like, doing TV stuff.
Your own show, maybe?
No, I mean, like, calling games on TV.
Yeah.
Like, so.
That'd be awesome.
Greg Olson, Brady, like that world of like being the color analyst on whatever network. And I also think like streaming's about to go. I think Paramount's about to get involved. I think Hulu's about to get involved. All these places or all these companies are about to start doing what Amazon did and paying a shit ton of money for one game a year. You know what I mean? Like,
Paramount just made a massive deal with UFC, which is, I think I'm excited for, because I'll actually subscribe to it, because like, now I can watch a UFC fight at home on like a Tuesday morning and skip all the commercials and catch up in 45 minutes. That's like a no-brainer for everybody.
The worst part about UFC is on ESPN and all the other stuff was paying the $80 on pay-per-view. It's exactly. Like, this is crazy.
It's going to blow the sport up to another level.
Couldn't agree more. But calling a game live, let's go back to like 6-year-old me sitting with my dad, like sitting in the thing and just like doing exactly that, being like, you know, at that time it was Tommy Maddox takes the snap, you know what I mean? Like doing that whole thing. And it's like now having that thing, and it's an interesting thing because like there's no production meetings. You just call up, or you just show up and call it how you see it. And I've always, like, that's kind of been my expertise, is like the brain side of football and being like a coach on the field even when I was a player. And
Bruce talked about that. You were the leader. I remember.
Yeah. So that part of it's been pretty cool. The weird thing about it is like you don't really get a ton of feedback, and I'm a big feedback guy. Like I need, like as a player, like I liked not in terms of like positive feedback, but like if there's something that I should be doing differently, or maybe somebody wants to hear me do differently, like I want to hear it so I can change it. You know what I'm saying? Like football is, people don't realize this, it's arguably the most microscoped, critiqued job on the planet, because every practice, every play of practice is graded and broken down. You know what I mean? So like, you never go home at night with like a question of how the day went. Does that make sense?
Very feedback oriented.
Very feedback oriented.
That makes sense.
It's funny, like a buddy of mine played 11, 12 years, whatever it was, has over 1,000 tackles. I mean, just monster career. Well, now he's like done. He's like working for like Raytheon Defense, like doing stuff like with them. And so the funny thing about it is he's like, he calls me up the one day. He's like, we're talking. I'm like, how you like it? He's like, how do I like it? He's like, I get a quarterly review. I don't know how I'm doing for a whole quarter of the year. Like, you know what I mean? So like, that's the world we come from. And so like now that I'm doing this radio thing, and like even McAfee does a great job. Like when I'm done, because he comes from that same world. So like when I'm done, he's like, hey, you should have done this differently. I like this. This was awesome. You should, you know what I mean? So it's like, I constantly get a feel for what he wants and where I should go. Radio, there's nothing. There's no direction.
So it's funny, I was watching some of your clips, and I was watching a Pat McAfee when you retired. Did you work with Pat before you retired? A little bit?
We were teammates for 3 years.
Okay, because Pat was like, when you retired, Pat said in a clip, he said, maybe AQ comes works for us. And I was like, yeah, they did. 5 years later, like, what, like, was this like, I was blown away. I was like, this is crazy that Pat actually said that.
Yeah, we go way back. So we ran each other's weddings.
Okay.
The story goes way back to 2009, which you're gonna watch the Heisman, I'm assuming, tonight or tomorrow. I don't even know if they still do it, but it used to be huge. So the Heisman has its own day, right? But then there's another thing they always shoot in Disney World. It's called the College Football Awards Show. That's where they do the Bolitnikoff Award, they do the Lombardi Award, the Butkus Award, all the different awards. So I won the Remington Trophy, which was the best center coming out my senior year. Pat was up for the punter award.
That's awesome.
And so the way they did the rooms was based on region where you went to school. And so West Virginia, Penn State, they put rooms right next to each other. And I like to have a good time, and he likes to have a good time. And so there's like a curfew, and we're both walking back to our rooms. He's like, we're not going to do curfew, right? And I'm like, nah, I don't think we should do curfew. So he's like, all right, we should go burn down the city. And I'm like, perfect, let's do it. So we went out, we had a night, and we've been boys since.
That's awesome. I was watching that, and I'm like, this is crazy. I was like, Pat, like, kind of manifested it. I saw something in you that maybe you didn't see right away about content.
Yeah, there's probably some truth to that, because like I never thought in a million years that was the direction I would go, and you know, and I've gotten better and better every single year. I've gotten so much more comfortable being on camera, and now I know like what people want to see, what actually hits, what doesn't hit.
What I feel like hits the best these days is authentic. And that's why
The whole podcast yesterday talking about authenticity.
like that's why there's no special production here. There's 2 cameras. That's it. Because I don't want every time a video goes viral, it seems to be I do something so stupid, but that's just who I am.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I just need to capitalize on that. Just continue to do authentic content where it's like, because people are tired of just the fakeness. Like, I can put together a real showcase and everything, but this is way more fun.
Yeah, I agree, brother. I agree.
So,
what's interesting in our world is people feel like they need to impress because they think that we're on some different level or stratosphere just because we're a professional athlete or because somebody has 1 million followers, whatever it may be, whatever that world looks like to that person. It's like, oh, well, we need to impress that person. It's like, no, you don't. Just I'm gonna like you if you're who you are and you're a good person and you're fun and you're good conversation versus the guy that comes up and tries to tell me all the great things about him. I'm just like, all right, that guy's dead to me. I'm never gonna talk to him again.
no, I couldn't agree more. And like, it's always fascinating. People are like, you run a good channel, what's the best part? I'm like, I tell them like, the best part is meeting people, but I'm like, guys, like, they're like, I'm surprised that you act this way. I'm like, who I am on camera is just who I am. Like, I'm not trying to be someone I'm not because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like, you just be yourself. So like, I 100% agree.
Well, I think that's part of the reason why people enjoy me, whether it's the stuff I do or whether it's on McAfee or whether it's in person, is like, I never take myself too seriously. I'm very comfortable at like making fun of myself or I'm very confident in who I am, and I just let that be who it is. And I'm kind of, you can take it one way or another, but it is what it is. I'm kind of abrasive at times, but I'm loud. I'm kind of, you know what I mean? It's like people enjoy that.
I was worried when they took your skeletons. I was like, AQ, you're going to jail. Because I thought you were going to kill someone.
Wow. The funny thing about that, I don't know if I said this on the show or any of the clips, but that was the night of the 18-inning Dodgers game.
Oh, was it?
I went to bed at 11:55. This happened at 12:05. So if that happened 10 minutes earlier, or for some reason I stayed up 10 minutes later,
It's kind of a blessing that.
yes,
Kind of a
it could
blessing.
have got real interesting. And the funny thing is like what people don't like. I think a lot of like my close people know this, and like we talk about on Pat's show a lot, but I got a lot of friends that are in the SEAL teams, and I was reaching out to them to like. I'm not kidding you, dude. I was all in on this, and I was like gonna have them like ping phone locations to the exact time, and I was never gonna like turn this into police, but I was gonna handle it myself. I promise you that much.
You should just put a sign outside your door, on your front lawn. This is AQ Shipley's house. Don't fuck with me.
You don't know what's coming behind door
You do
B.
not want to come, dude.
Yeah.
I remember Pat starting talking about it on air too. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like I was like,
Best clips ever.
I was like, this has got. I was like, okay, I shared it. Went kind of viral on my ex. I was like, okay, maybe it's dead. And then Pat's talking about it. I'm like, if I was that kid, I would be shitting myself.
It's kind of what happened.
I would be so scared because, oh my gosh, that was great.
Yeah, it was good, man. It was fun.
good.
It was fun. But again, like, that's the world kind of probably we grew up in. And like back in the day, like everything wasn't about cops. It wasn't about trying to get people in trouble. It was like,
We're the same age.
figure it out. And
100%. That's how it was.
like, it was like the perfect ending. Like, okay, cool. These people returned it. They apologized. Great. Cool. Keep
they
it
did some
moving.
push-ups.
That's it. The wife, I told her not to be soft, so she was good there because I was still in Indy.
The escargot here for you.
We can trade you, I
Trade
think.
done, easy.
language right now.
Gonna have our herb butter in there. It's gonna be a little bit of a puff pastry on top to finish, and then of course that escargot perfectly in the bite. Highly recommend with a spoon. Gets every.
Could we get 2 spoons?
Let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah, these are.
All right, so this is my favorite question to ask people who were with Bruce. What's your favorite Bruce memory?
So, Bruce and I have a unique relationship. He drafted. Well, he was the offensive coordinator when I got drafted in Pittsburgh. Yep. And if you were sitting here and Bruce Arians was at this table and you said, "Hey, tell me about AQ Shipley," he would start with this story every time. I get drafted to Pittsburgh, which is my hometown.
Yep.
Everybody knows who I am. I got connections out the door at every bar, every restaurant in the city. And boy, I was not a professional at that point. Like I was going to Mario's on the south side and drinking and living my life. And I had some former Penn State teammates who I was hanging out with who were on the team. And I just wasn't mature enough at that point to get drafted into a place where there was just too much for me. And so that whole first year, BA, I mean, he'd probably tell you I fell asleep in meetings 30 times. And so I go to Philadelphia the next year, which was the best thing for my career. Getting out of Pittsburgh, 1. 2, I played 2 years out in Philly under Andy Reid, which learned a lot from him, but also the O-line coach who just got named at Syracuse. He was the O-line coach under Andy Reid in Philly forever. His name was Juan Castillo. Dude's unbelievable. Like the best technique coach I've ever been around, and taught me so much, taught me pass protection, which is everything in the NFL, and learned a ton in those 2 years. Well, then after those 2 years in Philly, assistant GM who was like the head of pro personnel, I think, with the Eagles, gets the GM job in Indy.
Okay.
Hires Chuck Pagano. I'm sitting there like on my phone. I'm a free agent, and I'm like rolling through like Pro Football Talk, and I see Chuck Pagano hires Bruce Arians as offensive coordinator. He's bringing Harold Goodwin as his O-line coach. Harold was assistant O-line coach in Pittsburgh when I was there. So I reach out to Goody and reach out to Grigson, who was with me in Philly. They bring me in for a visit. This is actually when Pat and I reconnect. On my visit, I run into McAfee, and I get signed. And this is great. So now at this point, I'm a professional. Now at this point, like I understand like what the job is. I understand what's at stake. I understand the NFL game. I understand concepts. I understand everything now, right? And so we go to OTAs, and now all of a sudden, like I look like a completely different player to Bruce Arians and Harold Goodwin, who saw me 3 years prior in Pittsburgh, and I was all over the place and not taking it super serious. And so I make the team, and then I get my first start, and I start starting a bunch of games in a row now, and I'm playing good football. Like 2012, I played really good football at center, and it had to have been December. So this is one of my favorite stories, right? So it's one of BA's like charity events for his foundation. Yep, and it's at this local restaurant. He's tuned up like he always is, and I'm having a couple cocktails, and I kind of come up to him at the bar, and we're having a great conversation, and I put my arm around him. He goes, "Hey man, I gotta tell you something." I said, "What's that?" And he goes, "Ryan Grigson comes in my office. He's like, we got this guy we just signed, AQ Shipley. He's like, I had him in Philly, love him. Like, he's a pit bull. If he gets an opportunity, this guy's a pit bull." And Bruce Arians goes, "We signed that drunk? We signed that drunk I had in Pittsburgh?" And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, yeah. And then he put his arm around my shoulder, and he's like, "Man, I'm so proud of you." He's like, "You have turned the corner. You are playing good football. You get what it means." And like from that year, BA and I have been like this. Like, I mean, and everywhere he went, he knew that if he put me on the field, he could trust me.
Everywhere. He
took
brought
me
you
everywhere.
here. He took you to Tampa. He took you everywhere.
That's right.
And that's a sign of respect.
100%. And I was the first person when Chuck Pagano took a job to go back to the Ravens this offseason to talk to McAfee about getting Bruce Arians on the show. So there's a mutual loyalty, respect between us, which is cool.
Oh my Lord, what is this, dude?
This is our pretty decent style.
3-pound lobster thermidor. Thermidor is a French preparation. It takes about 15 to 20 years for lobster to get to this size.
So you get the lobster
85
tail,
rib cap.
a few grams of Ocetra Noir caviar, and some black truffle on top.
Wow.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Awesome,
you.
man.
Thank you so much.
Hope you're hungry, eh?
Jeez Louise, that's awesome. Beautiful. Thanks so much.
You're very welcome, AJ.
Thank you.
Well, this is why, like I said, going out to dinner with me is a little bit different than going out with your wife.
So good though, dude.
Just take it, dude. Just take half, and I'll take half, and it's all good.
Cool. I'm gonna get a little piece of both sides.
Dude, you're good. Take as much as you want.
Piece, I don't care. There's a whole nother steak right here.
I mean, it's stupid.
Isn't it? It's just the rib cat is just.
This is stupid.
It's just It's just like butter in your mouth.
Yeah, this is
Pretty good.
gonna move into my rotation.
Cleaverman Steakhouse, guy. That's where we're at. Unbelievable steakhouse. Just open. This might be the craziest dish I've ever actually seen in my life. I'm gonna have to get some light on it. Oh, it's just absolutely insane.
Mashed potatoes, if they're done right, are my kryptonite, brother.
Are they?
Yeah. Like with this garlic, I mean, this is gonna be ridiculous. Yeah. All right, so that's bone-in ribeye over there.
Just gonna put this over here, sir. Sorry.
No.
I'm not trying to make a mess, but
Yeah. Get this little piece with the truffle.
that is good.
So good.